Welcome back, Pembroke Gang and dinosaur lovers, and today we're going to be talking about my iteration of how I would write or go about producing the next Jurassic Park movie. Now, unlike my Star Wars video, this is not going to be a 45-minute plot breakdown. I'm just going to give you a quick summary and overview of what I think that the movie should have in it and what it should not have in it, and that's going to be quite a couple of controversial points in here, but we'll get to that right now. First, one thing I would not have in it, I think we can all agree, is the hybrid mutant dinosaurs. I think the movie needs to strip back and go to classic species that are well known, particularly even to Joe Public. The first of the two controversial points, though, first would be I would not have any legacy characters in it, and I would also not have InGen. The reason for this is I'd actually want to step away from the grandiose of all of these dinosaur experts and this secondary villain in the background. I'd want to break it more down to a very sort of human story told from people who are now living the consequences at the end of the second Jurassic World movie. And considering I haven't watched that movie many times, I had to remind myself that it's the Fallen Kingdom. So this movie would take place after the events of Fallen Kingdom, and it would probably have to be set in America because I feel like a lot more of the dinosaurs would be there. And I would also set this movie around the end of winter coming into spring. The type of location I would use would be a secluded hotel or a secluded golf club, particularly going from a end of winter season into spring season up in the northern states where golf clubs and hotels might not be open. Kind of like the same effect as The Shining, if you've ever watched that, which if you haven't, you're missing out. But as it goes from winter into spring, these places will be looking to open back up again. So I would have staff members there looking to get the place ready as business would be coming up. But the other reason I would pick America would be something along the lines of what America has. I don't know if this is in every state because I've only been to Florida, New York and Texas, but something like an Amber Alert. And for anyone this side of the Atlantic in America, if a child goes missing or is abducted, you will automatically, if you're in the area, get a message to your phone. I can't remember if it involves a photo of the child or not, you have to let me know on that. But you'll get an Amber Alert which will let you know that a child has gone missing, and you'll get the description so you can keep your eyes out and hopefully spot the child and, get the authorities involved. But in the Jurassic Park world, now that the dinosaurs have been on the release, there'll be equivalent of an Amber Alert but for dinosaurs. So you'd get a red warning if a dinosaur had been spotted loose and in your county, and then you'd get a black warning if there was one within your district, which the equivalent of America is, I assume, just a town. So you'd get two warnings, the first one not being as serious, but when the black warning comes up, that means that there's one very close by. So, get indoors, lock everything up and wait until the situation is dealt with. As for our main character, male or female, it doesn't really matter, but it'll be them going to work at the hotel or golf club, whichever one it is, to do some final pieces. As I'm a chef, I'm going to say they're a caterer for the staff that are already there. They could be construction staff, groundskeeping staff, housemaids, all those kind of things. But we'd follow our character to work and they'd get about their day. And this opening portion of the movie, I'd have not just to get to know the main character, but the other characters as well. Let's say there's 7 other workers at this either hotel or golf club. You can get some backstories in there to get to know them a bit. Not everyone has to be nice. There could be some people that our main character doesn't particularly get on with, but it'd also be a good chance for other characters, maybe a sit round having a meal. They get to talk about their experiences, maybe people they've lost since the dinosaur outbreak, if you will. This will give you plenty of time to build up the characters, but you'd need a situation to happen, and this one's quite a typical movie of where one of the staff members maybe gets injured or gets into an accident, so everyone stops what they're doing and goes over to help. And of course, while they're helping, they're not paying attention to their phone. The red alert has gone up to a black alert, so there is a dinosaur in their immediate vicinity. Now, depending if it's a hotel or a golf club would depend on the dinosaur that I would want for this, because if it's a golf club or a golf course, you can do more outside, whereas where it's a hotel, you'd have to do more inside. So inside, I would want to do something more to the size of what the Jurassic Park movie is called a velociraptor. You could even have an actual Dilophosaurus, not the fictional one, but something that is big enough to fuck up a human, but small enough that it can get through doorways and go down corridors and, you know, just function within the hotel itself. If it's outdoors, I want a fucking Tyrannosaurus. I want a fucking Tyrannosaurus, like the OG one that we saw. You know, I consider the T-Rex paddock escape one of the best pieces of cinema. And I would also have that when the dinosaur arrives, that it's sunset going into nighttime, because nighttime you get a lot away with a lot more. If you have a bad CGI moment, the darkness hides it, and also if you're using animatronics, the darkness hides it as well. We've seen that in a lot of movies that use a combination of both. And the first Jurassic Park, you know, that initial outbreak was done at night time, and that's why it looks just so gorgeous. Now, if it is the Velociraptor, I know how I'd like this dinosaur to be revealed, and silhouettes are played with throughout the Jurassic Park franchise, and with dinosaurs, it's amazing. And what I'd like to see is our main character come in after helping out the person who's been injured, and they're washing their hands in a sink, and you'd have to have that there's a window in front of them and the sunset in the distance, so everything coming through the window is silhouetted, and potentially in the kitchen as well, not just a, you know, your home standard kitchen, in the kitchen for the whole hotel. And they'll be there washing their hands, and they look up and there's no dinosaur noise, there's nothing there to warn you, it's just you see the silhouette of the Velociraptor going by, and that is your first oh shit. And in the moment they realise that there's a door to their right which is open, and this thing can get in. However, if it's a T-Rex and the accident is outside, I would like there to be no roar. As much as I love that T-Rex roar, I'd like them just to be trying to help out this guy, so focused on that they don't notice the footsteps, they don't see the ripples in the water and all that sort of traditional shit with Jurassic Park. I'd like the T-Rex just to emerge from a tree line, very much like how the two T-Rexes do when they sneak up on Eddie, when they just come out, like they emerge out of the darkness and just go around his jeep. I'd like that. That's what I'd like to see, is there be no warning, there be no audio cues for this dinosaur. It's just that they've missed the black warning on their phone, they don't know about it, and then the dinosaur is just there. So the next act of the movie would be essentially what is like the horror phase of this. And if you're indoors with the Velociraptor, you can have a lot of fun with tighter corridors that the dinosaur itself might not be able to navigate as well, because obviously it's longer than maybe turnings on the corridor are. You could have characters be really inventive about, you know, how they lock doors, how they get from one room to another, what they use to avoid the dinosaurs. You know, you could light a candle to, like, you know, disguise your scent and all that kind of thing. So indoors, I think you could do a lot with a Velociraptor. We've seen it in movies as well, so you could maybe switch up the dinosaur, maybe have a Dilophosaurus or maybe a Baryonyx or something like that. If the movie is outside at a golf club and we've got the T-Rex, you could have a golf cart chase scene down fucking like hole 3, which is a par 5, going over the mounds and over the bunkers with the T-Rex. You could have a lot of fun, but as it's nighttime as well, there's a lot of like horrible shit you could play with, and I think the first death needs to be brutal. And when I say Jurassic Park brutal, I mean something along the lines of, you know, Eddie from Jurassic Park 2, or Muldoon or something like that, because I know a lot of Jurassic World fans have said that you know, personal assistant who got eaten by the mosasaur is the harshest death in the franchise, and it's really not. You guys need to grow the fuck up if you believe that. But over the course of the second act, going into most probably the third act as well, this whole dinosaur chasing, killing off people one by one, I would do in real time. So when the dinosaur shows itself, someone should contact the authorities, you know, the fucking dinosaur police or whatever. And obviously you all know that there's never always a police station right next to you. It takes time to get to you. So from the moment from that call to when the authorities do arrive, if they do arrive, I would play out in real time. And that would give you a good chance to also show your main characters who aren't specifically well trained in anything, showing ingenuity and making smart decisions one at a time before they get killed off, of how to try and avoid the threat. As it comes to the end of the movie, if it's a T-Rex version outside in a golf course, you know, it'll get down to maybe like a full-on standoff, you know, maybe see something that we have seen but we haven't really seen. it's like a standoff with a T-Rex, but obviously like not a fucking gunslinging fight. And you think, you know, this could be the moment, and then you know, shooty bang bang, fucking dinosaur police are showing up, tranquilizers, all that kind of shit, and just managed to get there just in the nick of time. But behind this T-Rex, you know, going down the golf course, it's just like this fucking trail of fucked up bodies. If it's the Velociraptor version, I would have that the guy, your main character, is trying to get out of the building and trying to lock the Velociraptor in there. You know, maybe the hotel over winter has security shutters, that kind of thing. So they managed to find the one and only exit, managed to get out just in time and seal the raptor in there before they try and turn and get to their vehicle to get away. But as they turn to get away, they see the rest of the Velociraptor pack, because smaller carnivorous dinosaurs are pack hunters. And as they turn around to look at them, screen fades to black, credits start to roll, and instead of there being a soundtrack, you just hear the attack. Kind of like at the end of the first Saw movie, where Adam gets trapped, locked in the bathroom, and instead, when the credits start rolling, you don't, you know, there's no soundtrack, it's just Adam screaming from inside the darkness of the bathroom. So that's what I'd have. I would have a happier ending with the T-Rex and the more brutal ending with the Velociraptors. And some of you might be thinking that's a bit of a grim finish, but at the end of the day, this is a world where dinosaurs exist, and it wouldn't be pretty for anyone. So yeah, that's how I'd go about the next Jurassic Park movie. I'd make it a lot darker and more of an actual creature feature. Take away the philosophy of should we let dinosaurs exist and all that bollocks, because dinosaurs in this world do exist, and bad things can happen at any time. And yeah, I wouldn't have legacy characters either, because this is supposed to be about just human survival in a real world. So overall, I would have a good 20-minute setup with your main character, getting to know the new characters, and actually talk about the world of having dinosaurs live in it. People share their stories, you know, in this character moment of maybe someone's lost someone to even a herd of herbivores just having a fucking stampede or whatever, just people adapting to life with dinosaurs. You know, build up your characters, introduce the red alert and black alert system for a dinosaur being in the local area, then have the dinosaur introduction with no epic music, no pre-warning roar or anything, or signs of footprints on the floor or any of that. Do not have a warning for it. Just have the dinosaur just one moment not be there, and then if it's a Velociraptor going past the window with the silhouette, or if it's a T-Rex just slowly emerging from the trees like a fucking xenomorph in a, you know, in a fucking hive nest. And then have the characters taken out one by one, some brutally, some off screen, but you can hear, you can really play around with it. You could, this movie I don't think would be PG. I'm not sure what the ratings are in America, but over here we've got PG 12, 15, 18. So have this around the 15 mark, I would say. You'd lose a lot of younger viewers, but I think you'd gain a lot more older viewers who would want to see the brutality of the Jurassic world, if you want to call it that. But yeah, that's how I do the next Jurassic Park movie. If you like my idea, please leave a like. If there's anything you'd want to see, just write in the comments what you'd want to see in a Jurassic Park. I personally feel they need to stop with the hybrids and the mutants and just go back to actual dinosaurs. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I will be coming up with a few more videos of a few more franchises of how I would write. And I've got some more vlogs coming up too. Corbin's going to be coming over again soon. We're going to be trying some vegan pizza. You'll get some more behind the scenes. You can have a flat tour soon. If you want to support me in my author journey, you can buy my action thriller survival series, starting with The Taste Beneath, up there. Diseased Intentions, my second book, and Insidious Valour, my third book. I will get used to this being in front of the camera, but I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Hope you're all having a great day, and let me know what you think of the movie. Anyway, much love. Take care. Peace!